Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to WCS European Challengers Season 3. My name is Fear Dragon, and I am now joined by the wonderful Zombie Grub. How you doing?
I'm so nervous.
Oh,
it's my
wow.
first time here.
First time WCS broadcasts. It's okay.
Yeah. Please teach me your ways, Fear Dragon.
So, whatever you do, don't get excited around Jeff during the game.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be bullied either. So.
Yeah. Of course. No, but ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a awesome ZvZ coming up next. Stephano versus Elazer as our second match for the day. Now, of course, the winner of this is going to go on to face off versus Snoot. Loser is going to go on to face off versus Namshar. But I know you definitely know or have some thoughts about this match.
Do I? Yeah. I mean, I think we all have the same thoughts, basically, which is that Stephano has not liked ZvZ for... Gosh, how long now? Did he like it when he wins Liberty?
I mean, you know, there was a point where he was winning, I feel like, ZvZ's way back in Wings of Liberty because he was like, guys,
okay, so back then.
roaches are really strong right now, apparently.
Yeah, you just make roaches and you win.
Yeah.
No, but like the last, I mean, certainly of this year, he doesn't really like ZvZ. So Elazer, I mean, they're both European Zergs. You would think that, you know, everyone has to be at least comfortable with the matchup. And so Stephano being uncomfortable, I mean, I would think everyone's giving this to Elazer.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking that same thing. But you know what? I got that little tint of hope, that heartbeat that I feel from Stephano saying, you know what? He's known that all he has to do is worry about ZvZ for basically a little bit. He knows that Europe is such a Zerg-filled region that he was going to have to worry about ZvZ at some point. I believe that he's been able to try and figure things out. I've heard he's been doing pretty well in the ladder as well.
Yeah, but that's something that like everyone always says, and like I want to you know start the statement off with saying that I love Stephano, right? Yeah. He's a great personality, he's a great player, he puts in there a lot of work, but it's kind of one of those things where like every time he's about to get hyped, I mean, casting Nation Wars, I think this happened quite often, and be like he's doing really well on ladder, he's beating all these really great people, he's gonna do really well. And then he shows up and he underperforms, you know? And unfortunately, ZvZ is still where I think he will underperform. So, and
you've been disappointed too many times?
I mean, maybe, yeah. Yeah, you know. But it is possible. I mean, Elazer, I don't think has been having the best year either.
Yeah.
So, you know, last year, I think we'd be saying, like, oh, Elazer's got this no problem. But this year, it's like, well, hold on. Like, maybe he's not feeling so hot lately. And this could be Stephano's time to finally shine through ZvZ group.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I was telling Jeff about this before, but like even Elazer was saying wasn't feeling the greatest about ZvZ right now. Is still expecting to make it out of the group, but definitely maybe going to show little signs of vulnerability here. But at the same time, I mean, we also saw that Snoot said the same thing, and he kind of still managed to get that 2-1 over Namshar.
Yeah, these pro gamers, man, you just can't really trust anything they say.
You know, it's such an interesting thing because I've talked a lot with like a lot of the NA players about this stuff where the higher expectations you have for yourself, that as soon as you like something goes wrong, you start feeling like you put pressure on like, no, I'm supposed to. It's not just like that you were hoping to win or you think that you can win. You're like, I'm expected to win here. And then that's when you start putting the pressure on yourself and you're like, okay, now if I don't win, I look like a clown because I shouldn't be losing to this player. Like all this kind of stuff, just it starts piling up and you actually start just playing worse because of it sometimes.
Yeah, and there's that weird scenario where like a player comes up to you and you're like, oh, how you feeling? And they're like, you know what, I feel really great. You know, ladder's been going really well. I've been winning tournaments, and you're just like, okay, yeah, you keep doing that, but in your head you're like, oh, but what if like it's that time again where they're gonna do really poorly because they think they're gonna do great? No. So you're just, you know, you just are like, yes. You go do.
You know, I've still been waiting for that moment to come for Cyril, and I'm just like, I'm honestly not sure if it's gonna come. I'm legitimately not sure if it's coming.
You know, he's won like 4 tournaments. Well, wait, no, 1, 2, no, yeah, 4 tournaments. So, I mean, maybe finally for Montreal, that's when I'll do it.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with game number 1. We're going to be starting on Lost and Found in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, top of the red Zerg player. He is Stephano.
And in the top right, as the blue Zerg, he is Elazer. I don't know if you're supposed to do both of those, but
no,
I took it upon myself.
I was pointing to you.
Oh, okay. I was definitely not looking. It's perfect.
Those claws look really weird.
Yes, they do. They look like, oh, they look like Tron discs. He's gonna like throw them. And they're gonna like, you know, bounce and stuff.
They are the Tron discs.
Yeah, exactly. That makes a lot of sense. Well, anyways.
All right, well, we do got Hatch first, so nothing super crazy coming out from either one of these players. I was actually really expecting one of these guys to just open up with an early pool, just because I thought Elazer was gonna say something like, "Oh, you know what? He's just doesn't enjoy ZvZ," and I thought Stephano was gonna do one of those like screw it moments. I hate ZvZ. Let's just go.
Well, that is always like the question when these players are like, I don't feel so hot. But okay, we'll pause. We did kind of have this discussion, I guess, behind the scenes when like people will say like, oh, I don't really like X or Y matchup, and then they will just throw out a 2-axe, for instance, or a proxy or something like that. But then I was like, I don't know if any of these players are really like that. I mean, I think Elazer and Stephano will both throw out any amount of cheeses. They're very good like best of players, and they can really adapt the situation. But I don't know, in a best of 3, throwing out that one early pool, maybe not the beginning, but maybe at the end, just like the last series.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, did get word about the reason for the pause. It's because it's because Elazer the drone was actually skins. So
yeah,
because Elazer has skins, Stephano's being an option to regame. Stephano's asking if he can just take a win. It was like, no, actually, it's the regame. So we're hopping back into it. Looks like he's fine. I think it was just a joke.
I mean, the Tron discs do look pretty overpowered.
Are they though? I mean. Hold on, are they spinning? Because if they're spinning, then I can imagine that they actually mine a little faster.
Yeah, of course they're spinning.
Oh, yeah, they are spinning.
What are you gonna do? Just like, like bounce the like circle thing off the minerals?
I don't know, you just like
bong, bong, bong.
batter down the mineral patches?
What's wrong with you? That's not how that works. It's a buzzsaw. You use a buzzsaw?
No.
Oh, you never just gone in the backyard and buzzed some trees down?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why would I kill a tree like that?
Wow. Wow. What a hippie. Anyways, so yeah, no early pools, right? Just typical ZvZ. I mean, we're going to see, I believe that both of these guys can go for either those, heavy Ling styles or the fast Roach style. I mean, I actually think that we're going to see both of those. And I guess the question right now is, are we going to see a game 3? So can it really be that varied? Let me check here. Yeah, I think, I still want to say Elazer 2-0, just with the history, even though Elazer hasn't been feeling so well. But again, the mix-up, the Ling styles, the fast Roach styles. I mean, ZvZ is actually a really fun matchup, as much as we kind of do the, it's an easy joke, right?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of possibilities here, even though we're kind of narrowed in on what's probably going to be a third hatch soon for these players.
I think what's scary about ZvZ and what makes it feel very, like, lopsidedly, it goes one way or the other and it ends very quickly is just because there are so many, like, small, little hints of what your opponent's doing that you have to pick up on, and if you don't pick up on them, kind of feel like that last series is a really good indicator of it. If you miss some of those small hints, the game just ends very abruptly, and it feels like there's not a whole lot that you could have done in the engagement to like out micro your way out of the situation a lot of the time.
Yeah, unfortunately, ZvZ can be that matchup where it's just like, you can actually do everything kind of right. Like, you don't get surprised necessarily. You do start droning when you're supposed to, yet the other player just does it a little bit better. And that kind of feels like where Stephano is caught up at, in my opinion. Like, I watched his recent ZvZs, and it's not like he's getting bamboozled every single time, where he clearly misunderstands. No, it's just like he just kind of falls behind a little bit in the drones, or a little bit behind on the army, and just can't really catch up against, well, the great Zergs we have now in Europe, like Elazer, for instance. But they both went for Baneling Nest, they both went at third base. I mean, we should have seen at least one person try and make like 12 Lings, try and poke and prod, but we actually have an Evolution Chamber already slapped down and done for Elazer.
Yep, starting up that +1 missile attack upgrade now, and in the meanwhile, we have just seen a lot of drones coming out for Stephano as well. He's getting up his own Evolution Chamber a little bit later, but also getting up those gas geysers, so does he actually? Neither of these players have gone for the Roach Warren just yet. I imagine Elazer's going to be getting one because he's getting +1 missile attack, but still room for Stephano to go for a Muta play or something.
Yeah, but just to see him hide the Evolution Chamber, though, I feel like, okay, yeah, if you're going to go for like a Spire play, you kind of want to hide it, so maybe you go for like the Roach Warren and the Evolution Chamber at the front of the wall, but he just puts behind with the Roach Warren. I mean, we see more and more often these Zerg players pushing off their Roach Warren, but of course still getting the +1 missile. That's, pretty quick, but that is still a quicker +1 for Elazer.
Ooh, nice scout over here for Stephano. Sees the lair timings and knows, okay, I got to start up my own, otherwise I'm going to be too far behind on that Roach speed upgrade. And I think that he may have also seen the Evolution Chamber. I think he can probably assume something like that, even if he didn't spot it.
He did not, but you're right, like there's the assumption there. Pretty important though to scout like that is the the evolution is wiggly jiggly and that the layer is done. You don't want to be surprised by the just mass roach flood without both of those. That is fairly common. But if you both are going for roach speed 4+1, then we're gonna start talking about just good old-fashioned roach battles. Yay!
Yeah, this has been like such a gentlemanly game where they're just like, you know what, we're not even gonna make like the 16 early lings or anything.
Yeah,
I know the way you always describe it is like the test, where you're just making sure that your opponent is respecting you and that they're like, okay, you can handle the early ling versus banling stuff, right? Because if you can't, I'm gonna beat you. But
wow,
neither of these players really going for it.
Yeah, and they also didn't really. I want to say they both. they kind of pushed past what is a typical drone count to really make like a decent safe amount of roaches too, which is more like in the 50s, but these guys pushed past into the 60s and into the late 60s as well, both on 68 workers, but still holding strong at the army supply and the upgrades. Well, that's okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I was like, is there overlord speed on the way? Dear Lord, I hope there's overlord speed.
That's the real long con, right?
You just walk past like 4 other overlords on your way over.
I mean, why would you ever check? It doesn't look like anything on the minimap.
Yeah.
But the Overseer, so right now they do still want to check for Spire timings. You can still go into like Roach's thing and add a Spire and only make 8 or so, and it's a gamble and you definitely want to scout for it. So as we see the Overseer coming through here, doesn't scout anything suspicious, doesn't scout like a rather quick Hydralisk Den either. Both are going for the +1 Carapace. These Lings, I guess, is what they're going to be used for, which is minimal scouting. Yeah. Scouting on the 4th, I guess.
Yeah, confirms the +1 missile attack is done here for Elazer, and those Lings are getting 2-shot. Oh, a couple of Banelings also rolling into the natural, so a nice little 1-2 punch, but got a couple of Lings greeting those drones, transferring over to that 4th base at the same time.
This is such an even game.
And now we got the Overlord does make his way all the way to the main base, in fact, and kills off a Queen, might kill off a few of those drones, and then just picks back up. I like that.
I love it. Something interesting to add in here, and you can see this is just the beginning of the harassment that Elazer is going to do. It looks like Stephano is just going to try and max out on roaches before choosing really a different tech path on lair. But Elazer, as we can see, already getting tunneling claws and burrow along with the drop tactics is just really going to try and push and pull Stephano out of position, really test his multitasking. And now that he has his army on this side of the map, you can always check and see if Stephano is just going to come in and try and kill me or not. And even if Stephano did push out, it's not like he doesn't in fact have an army supply lead, so he's the one just having to defend whilst Elazer gets these important upgrades.
I mean, underwhelming number of units here for Elazer, so this is getting a little bit dangerous, but Stephano might be over. I'm a little afraid that he's going to be moving a little too far forward. Does Elazer have more than him there? Looking really close.
It is pretty close. He's got a couple Ravagers that aren't really getting close to Biles, but he's going to push that back. Still taking damage in the main, however, is lost now a total of 8 drones, I believe. Okay, so he knows that's there, but he doesn't have an Overseer. He's making 2 of them now, which, I mean, that actually really timed out really well for Elazer to be able to do that and get that regen back, as he still has the armor spell lead, not by much, but now he also has a +2 missile lead.
Yeah, and his roaches just have more health from that regen time. He's going to continue to push on forward. He makes it through the choke point. And 4th base, for a moment, it looks like Stephano was going to just give it up, but I think he was expecting the army to come from a different angle.
That was a bold move in, but trying to just pounce off of the army. Now Stephano's +2 is also done, but it feels like already a lot of the fight has happened. Now, defensive advantage should kick in eventually for Stephano, but I mean, I think he still loses, of course, but this fight, well, yeah, actually, that's going to be it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of difficulty. I mean, even just being down 9 or so workers, it makes a bit of a difference in how many of those reinforcements are even going to be coming out. We got some of these roaches over here for Elazer, trying to do some cute burrow play and move over to the natural, but it looks like the Overseer was there. And Elazer is continuing to get more drone damage done. I mean, this is just going to hinder the economy, hinder Stephano's ability to reproduce any of the roaches that are lost here, and Elazer looking to be in a really good spot now.
Well, I think he's definitely going to win this game. Stephano doesn't really want to tap out quite yet, but he saw the 4th base a long time ago. GG is called. Elazer takes game number 1. Not too surprising, as we were talking about the context of the entire best-of-3, but, I mean...
It was a close game.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, it was close for like 12 minutes, and then in 30 seconds, it was quickly not a close game. So that was just really surprising to see it suddenly just, and it was because Elazer knew how to strike too. I wouldn't say that, I mean, if I look at that, right, I'm not a great Zerg player, but if I looked at that, I was like, he's got a choke on his side, it's Defender's advantage. Like, do I really have that much? Do I really have the advantage in the upgrades? And at the time, he didn't. Like, it was still like, on the way. So, but Elazer chose absolutely correctly and was just able to overpower him.
Yeah, you know, I feel like if, and this is just because I think a lack of vision of seeing that the arm, because all those roaches for Elazer ended up burrowing kind of in that center area in the map toward the end of that game. So then suddenly Stephano didn't have vision of them anymore. He didn't know exactly where they were. So when he moved back over to his fourth base, he saw the poke forward. And I think he believed that the roaches were going to come in from a different angle. So he pulled all of his roaches back. So that choke point you were talking about, he didn't really get to utilize it. And I feel like that was like the moment that you were talking about, that Elazer really just like sees. And from there, he was able to like leverage higher health points, +2 weapons and everything. I think if you're at that choke point though, and you're able to engage with a massive concave, I actually could see a situation where Stephano defends that.
No, absolutely. You're right about that. It still feels like such a dangerous thing to do, though, because even though you've pushed past the choke technically, like, you're still not exactly with a concave, but neither was Stephano. So it's like, like, I mean, no matter what happened there, I think Elazer was going to be comfortable with the trade if it just ended up trading. But obviously it ended up just, like, actually winning. So that's even better. But that's exactly what I was saying about Stephano's ZvZ. You know, it wasn't necessarily that I saw, like, a big problem. He was down 10 drones the entire time. He didn't go for the fourth hatch or the right. Like, no, like, everything seemed pretty perfectly lined up. It was a little later to the +2, and maybe he's a little later to some drones, but then all of a sudden he gets just, you know, bounced out of the game.
All right, well, we get ready to hop into map number 2. It's going to be on Acid Plant. Stephano in a bit of a rough spot now, as he does not want to be going down to that loser's bracket this early on in a group full of Zerg players that are all out for blood right now, especially considering Namshar, not too bad of a Zerg player himself for that ZvZ. But here we go. We're going to jump in and introduce the players. Spawning up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have our red Zerg player. Put your hands together for Stephano. Team Gamers Origin.
And in the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, he is Elazer. Clash.
I think they actually just wanted to pronounce Clash.
I know, but Q-Lash.
Q-Lash.
Really cute. Cute Lash.
Cute Lash?
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Okay, good.
Elazer's actually been doing really well in the Clash event that's been going on lately. He's in the group that doesn't have Cyril, so he's undefeated so far or something, I think, right now. He's doing really, really well for himself.
Surprising, then, that he would be a little hesitant about his ZvZ today.
Yeah, especially since half of his group is Zergs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's really hard to dodge Europe Zergs. I mean, there's like, what, tomorrow's like Euthermal and Harsum for Europe, but then there's still like a lot more Zergs left over. In fact,
Harsum being a great Zerg player, and oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
not Zergs.
There you go. There you go. You caught on. Good job.
Okay.
But even tomorrow we have like a decent amount of Zergs, and later today we have more Zergs.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
Even NA is just filled with Zergs now. Not gonna lie.
Does that say something? No. No, it's Challenger that's wrong.
The format is really conducive to Zerg players qualifying, so, you know.
No, seriously. I mean, Europe is always going to be the case. I mean, I would love to see someone, as we watch like perfectly normal openers happen here, I would love to see someone like really dive deep, get a lot of statistics, really like go through the history of StarCraft as to why Europe is so Zerg dominated. But I guess for now we're just going to be like, question mark. Actually, I have my own opinions about that.
The interesting thing about it, because like a lot of people will just look at it and say like, oh, it's balanced, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, it's about the number of players that are Zerg.
Right.
It's not like, and people aren't like changing their race with the balance, right? There just are Zergs, and no matter what the balance is like, they just continue to be more Zergs for Europe.
I really feel like, and this is, I mean, is it okay to balance complain about something that happened 6 years ago? Is that fine? Am I getting in trouble for this? But like, Broodlord and Fester kind of hit when the different style of WCS was happening in Europe. You know, there's a lot of regional qualifiers and championships. And I personally feel like that has really, you know, pushed Zergs over the top for Europe. But that's, again, someone has to do a really, like, in-depth article on that before you can say anything concretely. Point is, today, 2018, we have a lot of Zergs. And we do have a lot of ZvZs. And usually ZvZs do revolve around this stage. I mean, some light scuffles going down here. This is really not that important. But we did miss out on a bigger Bane-Ling scuffle last game. No one really wanted to go for those Lings. Currently have Stephano going for a few more Lings, but not enough to really, you know, for me to be like, oh, we're going to see some action here. It seems like it's just, you know, more of just poking and prodding. Oh, some more. Let's get two more.
Getting a few more.
But he's supply blocked, so that's awkward.
Oh, yeah. Queen getting a snipe off?
That's what I imagine happened.
All right.
You could shift L and we could find out. I mean, how else?
No. I guess he
he extractor tricked?
Yeah, he must have extractor tricked.
Okay, all right.
There's no other way to get supply locked like that.
We've, gone through all those situations. All right, 12 more Lings now on the way, but Elazer is also making his own set of defensive Lings.
All right, Ling's getting some good damage done on that hatchery, and in fact, with some of his own Banelings coming forward, if he gets a surround on that Queen, he could maybe get some more damage done, but knowing that the Banelings are there, he's going to wait for some of the reinforcements before re-engaging, and you're talking about some of those extra drones that Elazer was making, and this does get a little bit dangerous here, depending on the Baneling hits.
But Elazer's already droning. Like, he feels very comfortable here. And I guess with the amount of Banelings he has and 2 more reinforcing, that does make sense. He also hasn't seen, like, a long string of Lings coming out from his scouting overlords. Very important, ZvZ. So it was absolutely the correct call. I mean, Stephano doesn't exactly fall too far behind, though. He also is making his own drones. He kind of feels like he might be able to set the pace here. But can we actually see any damage done?
All right, round 2 comes on forward now. Elazer still has quite a few Banelings left over. In fact, he does have, I think, 2 more. Yeah, 2 more over Stephano. So Stephano's aggression can have a hard time unless he really gets very cost-efficient Baneling connections. In fact, he's going to start to back off, look for other angles, and also just throw down his own Roach Warren.
His evolution chamber is once again a little bit later than Elazer's, though, and this time I feel like it's actually quite a bit later. His +1 was pretty much immediate for Elazer. Again, he read the situation very well, and that did end up contributing to the loss last game. It was also Elazer's just good decision-making, but he did have that +2 weapons upgrade for, I want to say, like 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and it's going to happen again here, especially because Stephano's like not immediate to his +1. Like, okay, there we go.
Yeah. Also worth noting that we had Elazer kind of poking on forward with one of his scouting Lings and did confirm drone saturation at the 3rd. There isn't some massive flood of roaches that are just being pulled up and getting ready to move across the map, or Lings and Banelings or anything weird like that. So he's going to feel comfortable just getting up some more drones, of course getting up that lair tech and just saying, you know what, I'm not about to die to something. So let's just continue to play out that macro game.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good call. Just, yeah, trading out for Banelings at this point, but there's so many Queens. Like, Elazer made extra Queens to help him in the defense. I mean, he's going to be able to spread creep tumor, sure, but it's not necessarily super important. ZvZ that's, well, supposed to have really good Baneling defense, but Stephano managed to sneak in a good number of Banelings that time. Last game, he got like 3 or 4, right? This time he gets 11.
Definitely not too shabby there. He did spend a lot of Banelings on that. I think there were like 6 Banelings there. So, of course, it is a bit of an investment, considering that he's still down in workers. But he still might be able to make something happen off the back of that.
Yeah, he evened it up for like a second. Elazer just went ahead again. I mean, it's good. Stephano, though, like, paying attention to the drones, like, that's all well and good, but Elazer has fallen behind on that army supply. His Roach Warren was certainly later than Stephano's. For all his +1 is already done. That's great, but what do you have to actually use that +1? If Stephano had Roach speed faster and as such felt confident moving out faster too, like, this could have been a real problem, but he's still going to be waiting on that Roach speed for, like, quite some time. Something that the Overseer, I guess, could confirm. It's really paying close attention to the Roach Warren.
Yeah, it's going to move forward and see that the Evolution Chamber is still kind of wiggling and jiggling. But there's the big move out over there for Stephano.
Okay, all right. This is scary. Like, he might not have Roach speed, but if he's gonna hit with it or even without it,
the rocks first. Oh, this is. I mean, he's gonna lose a lot of time here, and now Roach speed's gonna be pinching up here for Elazer. He's gonna get out more of those Roach defenses, and the defender's advantage is gonna start kicking in a little bit.
That's a 40 army supply lead, you know. Like, Elazer had to remake drones. He made an over drone in the first place to have to remake those. I mean, this is a decent concave on the top of the ramp. The Banelings aren't really adding a ton, and he has a lot of transfuses from those Queens being built so early on.
I really don't hate the situation that much for Elazer. It's looking really good for him.
It is. Like, this, I mean, there was such a stark contrast of army supply, but it's just the positioning, a couple of transfuses. This ended up looking like a silly idea from Stephano.
Yeah,
silly.
Like, those Baneling connections also were magnificent, but Elazer maybe overcommitting a little bit here.
Not.
I think he still does have
doubles down.
Yeah, he does still have enough roaches here to make this work, but yeah, I feel like it's becoming a little closer than I thought it needed to be, just because the Queens aren't really involved anymore.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but he really feels confident that with, you know, him still having a slight closer position, reinforced position, he already has his bases, he already has his +2 on the way. If he wins this, he wins the game, and yeah, he chose correctly again, chose to push forward, and that was the right call. Elazer now up 30 army supply.
There you go. He's going to actually just push in even further before +2 missile attack finishes. And yeah, okay, now he's going to back up at roach speed with that creep. Allows Stephano just at least a couple more hits. But +2 weapons. Once that finishes up, Elazer is going to have a sick opportunity to move across the map.
That's probably what he's going to be waiting for, too. I mean, that's like a perfect opportunity right there. Everything looking up for Elazer, everything looking not so good for Stephano as he's already
trying to drone up right now also, which
yeah.
I can kind of dig it. You know, you're actually down in workers in this situation, but you've got to get up some defenses, expecting the big counterattack.
Well, it's happening just before +2, but in 5 seconds it will be done. Elazer might need to find a better angle to come up through. I mean, it's a 30 armor supply lead with an upgrade lead. Maybe he could force his way, and he seems to be choosing all the right moves in this ZvZ best of 3. But, you know, he just defended with a similar concave, so he's got to be a little careful.
All right, splitting up his roaches. He is going to get caught by quite a few, but now he's just going to come in for a massive surround here on half of Stephano's army, and this is not going to go very well.
No, that ended up turning on its head, didn't it? Stephano thought he was all well and good. I mean, it's like a sandwich in a sandwich. Yeah. It's a little weird,
He's kind of buying himself quite a bit of space and time. His +2 weapons is very far away from finishing, don't get me wrong, but look at Elazer. I mean, he's chasing down just 3 or 4 roaches. One roach is still going to make it all the way to the third to deal the queens, but Stephano, he is giving himself an opportunity to get up more Ravagers, to maybe take a better engagement angle at the top of the ramp.
Well, okay, I was going to ask, do we actually see him defending with such a defensive setup? And we're going to get tested as Elazer just simply moves up the ramp, sees that he still has the +2 lead. Is it really going to go that well? I mean, I think it's good enough, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good enough. I was thinking for a moment there, you know, Elazer's roaches looking very softened up, but it's going to be too much. GG, Elazer takes the 2-0, moves on to that winner's match.
Yeah, I hesitate to call it easy. I mean, there were certainly large chunks of the ZvZs where they were kind of even, but then Elazer did just take the battles ultimately, and that was quite important.
I mean, there was no point in that game where Elazer was behind. It was always Elazer I felt like was even or ahead. I
mean, there was the kind of scary point where he was behind 40 army supply.
There was that. He
really made it look like it was like even army supply.
That's. Like oh yeah, it's like the multiple ways that you can make yourself get ahead, even if you're down in supply. It's like, okay, if I have a good engagement angle, all of my banelings connect with the massive clump of your roaches at the front, and I have transfuses, and I have defender's advantage. It's like, oh, you know, all these things are actually adding up, and you can overcome the disadvantage.
Yeah, and he did so quite well. So I mean, I think you know, the games, they're even enough, but then the fights were absolutely Elazer's side. So in that way, it made it look like an easy 2-0.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we now know our winner's match and we now know our loser's match. We're going to be moving into that first match. It's going to be Namshar versus Stephano, series number 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more WCS Challenge.